Kia ora, te whānau. Nearly got that wrong then. Hello, Markie here, very tired and desperate to eat, which is never a good time to make videos because it was coming out a bit manic. Maybe that is a good time to make videos. So this is very off the cuff. All my videos always are off the cuff and are full of substance but no style, and have a shaky camera. That's the trademark. So if you're new to the channel, that's what it's like. It ain't going to get much better, so you might as well say goodbye to me now. If you've been to the channel before, then you're used to me, and maybe you even like my homely rambling style. So, and if you're a subscriber, thank you very much, and if you're a patron, thank you even more. So, enough preamble. I am doing this video right now, rather than eating or sleeping, because I was having a conversation with somebody on, I'm not sure quite how I made their acquaintance, an online conversation. I think I must have commented on, somebody must have posted something about the TV series, The Ghosthunter, and I must have commented that I was in it. And they kind of picked up on that and said they loved that program, and I think he just wanted to ask me a few questions. So rather than text, I thought I'd do a video. I do that now, really. I don't know if that's a bad thing. If anybody asks me a question about anything, I do a video. If my wife asks me if I want a cup of tea, I do a video on it. I stopped talking to people anymore. So, and I thought it'd be quite good to put this in the context of some weird coincidences, really, that have kind of occurred around this. In that I used to, when I was back in the UK, and at the time I was a massage therapist. No innuendo, please. This is therapeutic massage, not not massage wasn't a euphemism for anything else. And I had, as I was setting up the business, I was quite flexible, so I used to do all kinds of other things as well. So I was a guide on the open top buses in Bath, and I was also a guide on a riverboat tour. What else did I used to do all kinds of things. It was great, actually. Didn't earn any money. I was always poor, but hey, what's new there? But yeah, I kind of was able to kind of plurk, which is a combination of play and work, really. So one of the things I did was sign up with an agency that for what's commonly known as extras in film and TV, although in the business they're known as supporting artists. So I did that. So I was in this series called The Ghosthunter, which I'm not overly familiar with. I've never watched it. It's a children's TV series. I think there have been several seasons of it. And the episode that I was in, and I'll come into the kind of the coincidences and the links with other stuff a little bit later. The clue is in the title, really. You can see it coming. Yeah, the episode I was in, it was filmed in the vaults underneath the Colston Hall in Bristol. Now it's interesting because I used to live in the originally in Wiltshire, and then in Bath, which is just over the border from Wiltshire. And Bristol is a much bigger city than Bath and is quite nearby. So a lot of stuff happens in Bristol. If you live in Bath, you often do stuff in Bristol. So this was filmed in Bristol. The Colston Hall is right in the centre of Bristol, and it's a major kind of concert venue and things like that. And I've had some great times in the Colston Hall. Who have I seen in the Colston Hall? This channel's full of digressions and tangents, by the way. So if you haven't tuned out already, if you don't like digressions and tangents, let's part as friends. There's a big one coming. So who have I seen there? I've seen All About Eve. No, that was in the Hippodrome, which is a much nicer venue. The most recently I saw The Cult, but that was after they'd done it up. And my God, it was unrecognisable. Prior to that, it was a real dump, actually, the Colston. It was an old kind of classic building, but it was really in a bad state of repair, but they completely refurbished it. So I moved away from that area, moved down to Devon, and I came back after years, I hadn't really been in Bristol much at all, to go to the Colston Hall. It was unrecognisable, and that's where I saw The Cult. But who have I seen in the Colston Hall? Anthrax, the Dubliners, Hawkwind. I've seen loads of people actually, loads of bands in the Colston Hall. Jethro Tull. So I've got some, much as I never used to like the building, I've got some fond memories of the Colston Hall, but the vaults of the Colston Hall are fantastic. They're really kind of, and they were used to make a prison. So you've got these big arches, that's how it's made. And they used some kind of chemical because they thought there was something hazardous down there. So they were kind of detoxifying it in some way. So there's some weird process going on, and lots of warnings about chemicals and stuff like that. So they made it into a really brilliant, convincing jail. So the different arches were made into different cells, and there was a space between the arches where there was a desk and a jailer was sitting. And so I was literally just an extra. I was sitting in my cell. The nice thing was that it had a real straw bed in the cell. God, that's comfy. Straw beds are incredibly comfy. Why don't they make a comeback? Most comfortable straw mattress. The most comfortable thing I've slept on, really. And that was me supposed to be roughing it as a prisoner. So I want to give a bit of detail for the person that's asked questions so that they can hopefully identify the episode. And I know some other parts of it were filmed in Chippenham, which is funny, which is pretty much where I come from. Not where I was born, but where I pretty much grew up, or very near there, which is also where Jeremy Corbyn came from, interestingly. And it had something, they used the shopping centre there, and there's something to do with the name Povey. That was a character in the series. But the little scene that I was in, there was the jailer was basically receiving a gift from one of the prisoners, who I think was one of the lead characters, and it was a piece of bread and dripping, and the jailer said something like, bread and dripping, a gift from your loving and lovely daughter, in a very kind of voice. So in other words, it was a gift for the prisoner, but he was stealing it and eating this poor guy's treat. So hopefully that gives you a clue. And then there was a woman who I think is irregular in the series, and she does she sniff out ghosts? She kind of came in and was doing this or something like that. And that's pretty much all I can remember, really, about that. I remember being really tired and sleeping a lot in between takes. But the weird thing is, and this is where goes into the kind of the broader theme, is when I was doing this work, I was always getting work as either kind of some kind of stalker or sex offender or prisoner. And I think it was because I got long. I still got long hair, but it's tied up now and it's past its former glory, and beard. And I think that they kind of thought that look was kind of a bit reprobate-ish, if that's a word. So I've been a prisoner several times in several things. So I was also a prisoner in a film called Lucky Break, which was starred Bill Nighy and Timothy Spall, and James Nesbitt, and that was filmed in Dartmoor Prison, and that was while I was still living in Bath. And I remember looking at Dartmoor Prison and thinking, God, I could never work here. And then within 5 years, I think 5 or 6 years, I actually had a job in Dartmoor Prison, and I worked in Dartmoor Prison for a little while. So I worked in a prison. And then the one I had the most fun on actually was there was a TV series called Lucky Break, and I played a prisoner, and then they filmed that on Dartmoor in an army camp, which is Oakhampton Army Camp, which is where they do which is the base for the 10 Tours event. But obviously that was going on at another time. And they set it up as an open prison. And Ricky Tomlinson, famous for the Royal Family, not, Royal, R-O-Y-L-E comedy series. He was in that. And there was a bunch of us, and because when you're working as an extra, there's a lot of downtime. It's nearly all downtime. So you're chatting to people, really. And how fun it is all depends on the people that you're with, really. If you're with a bunch of people that are kind of hard work, you get a lot of narcissists and that kind of thing. But if you get some nice people and you can have a bit of fun, it's great, and the time passes and stuff. So one of the things that we just kind of got into was kind of, in between takes, is talking to each other in kind of completely over-the-top, hammy kind of prison slang and prison, kind of what we deemed to be a prisoner's kind of accent, and at the end of it, we would end everything we said to each other with "you slag," and then years later, I was on another shoot for something completely different, forgotten all about that, and a voice from behind me, it was saying, "You slag," you know, instantly remembered it was somebody that I'd been on that set with. So yeah, that was my. Was there more? So it was Dartmoor, the Ghosthunter, Casualty. Yeah, I played a possible stalker. I've been on Casualty lots of times actually, because that used to be just down the road. That was kind of bread and butter because they had a studio, so I was just done quite a few Casualties. Yeah, done loads of stuff really. But they were the three prisoner ones, really. So that is the story of my life in jail. I have lots more kind of lovey anecdotes, life and loves and trials and tribulations of a supporting artist. But if you've got any questions, I will do my best to answer them. So I hope this is helpful. And Rangimarie, you slag.